You have this dream, this thing that gives you goosebumps every time you think about it. Your heart races when you close your eyes and envision yourself in that world where you made it. My name is Simon Gómez, and my dream was to become a professional football player. You know that pain is temporary, but regret is forever, right? You are aware that to become the best, you must do what others don't even dare to think about. So, you make sure to outwork every single person you know, because when the time eventually comes, you want to get the reward you deserve. You might have heard of what is called the grinder mentality. Or if you haven't, it is most likely that you have witnessed it in a peer, a friend, or definitely in social media. You know, we see these people working 16 hours a day, waking up at 4 a.m. with no sleep, no rest, and no leisure time. And when we ask them why they do this, it's because for them, busier equals better. The more they do, the farther they'll get. The more they'll achieve, and eventually the happier they'll live. But now let me ask you, what happens if you don't make it? What if you do? Or what if instead you stop caring? Because there's an alternative way of thinking. I believe in living every day feeling fulfilled by what we do. That the real reward is in doing the things, not in what we get from them. And so we should learn to push through and harder because we enjoy doing so, not because we feel forced. Going back to this idea, there's no better way to understand what this mentality is than by showing it. I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. Muhammad Ali. Sounds inspiring, doesn't it? The appeal of it is the promise of a forthcoming future. It motivates you to get something you don't have yet. It's about pushing yourself beyond your limits to achieve something worthwhile, something that justifies the hardship. And that was the mistake that I made. A couple of years back, when I was 13 years old, I decided that I wanted to become a professional football player. And I was carried away by temptation, and I induced myself in this noxious culture. And the thing is that we have our own Colombian-made word for what I was striving to become. A berraco. Someone always striving for the best, determined to reach its goals, and willing to pay the price for them. Someone worthy of admiration. Meanwhile, in Japan, they have a word for one of the possible consequences of having this berraquera, and it is karoshi, which literally means death caused by overworking stress. In fact, a study from the World Health Organization revealed that in 2016, more than 745,000 people died because of this in a year alone. Isn't it more valuable to enjoy our everyday lives rather than literally dying trying to achieve something that might never even come? But following the lessons of my role models, I obsessed with my goal. And every little thing I did was aimed towards achieving it. I was the first to arrive and last to leave team practice. I made sure to outrun every single teammate. I underwent a super strict diet and began recording my sleep cycles. All of this so that when the weekends came, the game days, the time where my sweat was finally going to pay off, the coach gave the name for the starting lineup, and my name was not on it. But so, how did you think that I reacted as a grinder? I kept pushing harder. I missed friends and family gatherings, lost school trips, and made football my full priority, hoping that one day, when I made it, it will all be worth it. I have someone to thank for teaching me the most important lessons of them all. So for you to have a mental estimate, out of the current 1.5 million youth players in England, only 180 of them will make it onto the Premier League. That's a 0.012% chance of making it. So what made me different? Was I ever going to make it? I have someone to thank for teaching me the most important lessons of them all. In one word, enjoy. This mentor was aware of what it was like to chase perfectionism, to have ambition, but he taught me that despite whatever out of this world dreams we hold, the journey truly is more important than the destination. Waking up excited for the day ahead and feeling pleasure from whatever tasks await us is the most valuable gift anyone can receive. One afternoon, just like any of the other hundreds that preceded that one, I realized that I was lying to myself if I said that playing football was the thing that I enjoyed doing the most. On that day, I became so obsessed with making it that playing the game itself became a step that I wanted to skip over. But from all of this, I learned that it's amazing to have dreams, but it is most probable that you fail in something before you achieve them. Therefore, if all you aim for is the result, you'll live in a constant state of failure, and this will discourage you every single time. If all you care about is getting hired by that company, or in my case, signing that by that pro contract, or I don't know, maybe receiving that award, it is most probable you'll fail before you achieve it, if you achieve it ever at all. So what if we make life about enjoying the process? What if instead of feeling good when you look yourself in the mirror and see your feet, you decide to feel good when you make the healthy choice? What if instead of getting the satisfaction from receiving a grade, you're delighted by the challenge of finding the correct answer? Don't feel fulfilled when you make it, but making it. But don't get me wrong. I am not incentivizing you to become an instant gratification mediocre who avoids any challenges because their journey will get upset. But rather, I'm inviting you to embrace these challenges. And I don't like statements of this kind because it's so ambiguous and it's always easier said than done. So the issue becomes how. How can we learn to enjoy what we do? And the answer I've encountered is with a life purpose. And this is the key not only to finding our passion, but making everything our passion. Doesn't that sound truly amazing? And though a life purpose might seem as this great enigma that has driven humanity crazy for thousands of years, I've been given a practical solution or approach to it in the form of an equation. And it's as follows. My talents plus my values equals my life purpose, always in service to others. Your talents are everything you know you're good at, and you know you can master with practice. And your values are everything you give worth to, whether that's family, creativity, honesty, respect, solidarity, etc. When you find a way to give to society through this, you will have a life purpose. And unlike dreams and objectives, purposes have no expiration date because they're the why. So it means it's not about achieving them once and moving on to the next one, but their nature is such that you can live true to them every single day. And even the simplest actions, such as serving someone's coffee or even greeting someone with a smile, become part of effectuating this purpose. And when you do these things with this purpose, you enjoy them for the sake of doing them because they fulfill you. So the next time that you're in the treadmill or in the gym lifting weights or doing math homework or doing an exam or whatever it is that challenges you, stop thinking about how the hard work is going to pay off and how you're eventually going to get something worth it, and concentrate on doing these things for the sake of staying true to yourself, to your values, and to your purpose. And so what motivates you? Is it the promise of a distant future? And why do you do what you do? Is it an obligation to pay the bills or to avoid an endless lecture from your parents? What if instead you decide to do whatever it is that you have to, but with passion? Doesn't that sound truly amazing? Thank you.